They mock you for being in a wheelchair, but what if your husband could destroy their world in a second? The morning sunlight spilled gently through the white curtains of your bedroom. The breeze outside was cool, the kind that usually made you smile, but not today. You sat quietly in your wheelchair by the large glass window. The room was peaceful, painted in soft green with lavender essence Jungkook had chosen just for you, but your heart was far from calm. Your hands rested still on your lap as your eyes slowly traveled down to the place where your legs used to be gone. You stared at the empty space where your blanket now folded flat. It had been 2 years, but every morning still began with the same sharp pain in your chest. Lifting your head, you looked out of the window at the wide, clear sky. The clouds were floating freely, just like how you used to dance once upon a time. Your eyes didn't blink, they just stared. Then, in a broken whisper, you said the same words you would said countless times. God, why did you do this to me? A tear slid down your cheek before you could stop it. You wiped it away quickly, but the memories had already begun to rush. Flashback the day. It was sunny afternoon. You were smiling, your arms wrapped around Jungkook's as the two of you walked down the busy street together. You had insisted on going out for ice cream, not from a delivery truck or servant, but from a real local shop like a normal girl. Van, are you sure? Jungkook had asked, worry in his deep voice. You had looked up at him, your eyes bright with a spark of stubborn joy. Just today, please, let me feel normal. No guards, no drivers, no security. He sighed. You're not cased, love. You are protected. You pouted. Same thing again. He chuckled softly, gave up, and pulled you close. All right, just stay beside me. I mean it. He was talking a call a few steps away from you on the footpath. You saw it then, the ice cream cart across the road. And next to it, a vendor selling heart-shaped balloons. Your heart fluttered. You wanted to run. You didn't even hear Jungkook say, wait, I'll bring it for you. You stepped onto the road. The cars were loud, the street too busy, but all you could think of was getting that balloon, that little taste of freedom. And then everything stopped. The sound of tires screeching, the scream of a man, violent, then pain, sharp, blinding, crashing into your world, darkness. Back to present. You blinked slowly, returning to the present moment. Your fingers gripped the armrest of the wheelchair tightly as your chest rose and fell with silent pain. That memory always played the same way. Jungkook's scream still echoed in your ears, the hospital's cold walls, the smell of antiseptic, the doctor's words. We saved her life, Mr. John, but we couldn't save her legs. Your husband's hand had fallen to his sides, his eyes had filled with tears, but he didn't let them fall until he was alone because he was strong for you always. You shook your head as if trying to erase the memory, then you heard the soft knock on the door. Ma'am? Came a gentle voice. It was the maid Hannah. She opened the door slowly, holding a breakfast tray with warm toast, fruit, and tea. Breakfast is ready, she said kindly, walking towards you with a hopeful smile. You didn't turn, you just stared out the window. I'm not hungry, you said quietly. Hannah paused for a moment. Ma'am, please, eat something. You didn't eat dinner either. You finally looked at her. Your eyes weren't angry, just tired. I said no. She hesitated, then nodded and stepped back. Yes, ma'am. I'll leave it here in case you change your mind. She placed the tray gently on the side table near you and left the room silently. You leaned your head against the side of your wheelchair and closed your eyes. Your heart felt heavy. There was no music in your life anymore, no movement, no dance. You used to dream of becoming a ballerina. You used to spin across shiny wooden floors. Now your dreams were quite empty, but one thing hadn't changed. Jungkook, even after all this, he hadn't left your side. Every morning he would help you dress. Every night he would sit beside you, rubbing your cold fingers until you slept. When people saw him outside, they feared him, the Mafia king, cold and dangerous. But to you, he was the man who tied your shoelaces when you still had feet, the man who held your hand in silence when you couldn't speak, the man who still looked at you like you were his entire world. And he would come home soon. You looked at the clock, 9 a.m. He had probably left early for a meeting. You touched the edge of the window glass and whispered again, I just want to feel live again. Your heart was quiet but not broken, not yet, because somewhere deep inside, you still had one person who hadn't given up on you, and that was enough to hold on for one more day. The hallway outside your room was silent until the soft click of footsteps echoed through it. Downstairs, Jungkook sat on the velvet couch in the living room, a silver pistol in his hand. He cleaned it slowly, silently, with the focus of someone used to danger, someone feared. His sleeves were rolled up, sharp jaw clenched, and eyes cold. The Mafia world knew this side of him, ruthless, quiet, deadly. But just then the maid stepped forward nervously. Sir, she said softly, holding the untouched breakfast tray. Jungkook glanced up. His eyes narrowed immediately. She didn't eat. The maid nodded. She said, she is not hungry, sir. He let out a small sigh and handed his gun to the guard beside him. I will take care of her. Jungkook walked quietly to your room, holding the breakfast tray himself. He didn't knock. He didn't need to. You were still by the window, hands resting on your lap. You didn't turn, but you felt his presence the moment he entered. That warmth, that calm. Without a word, he came in front of you and sat on the floor in a soft squat, placing the tray beside him. He looked up into your face gently, his eyes filled with concern but also love. Open your mouth. He said softly, lifting a spoon. You looked away. I'm not hungry. You replied, your voice barely above whisper. Jungkook tilted his head and placed the spoon down. Your stomach isn't hungry, but your heart is, he said. You blinked. Please eat this for me, princess, he said, brushing a strand of your hair behind your ear. Your chest tightened. He always called you that, princess, as if nothing had changed. You looked into his eyes. Haven't you gone to the office yet? His lips curved into a half smile. How can I go to work when you're starving yourself at home? You stayed silent. He didn't rush you. He just held the spoon again, this time waiting patiently. After a pause, you opened your mouth and took a bite. He smiled softly and fed you again, not as a husband feeding a sick wife, but as a man who loved every part of you, even the broken bones. And then suddenly the words left your mouth before you could stop them. Jungkook, I want to go to a club. He blinked. You took a deep breath. I want to dance again. Is it possible? Jungkook's head snapped up, his eyes widened. Is that true? He asked, his voice trembling just slightly. You nodded slowly and smiled, a real one, small, gentle. His face instantly changed, his eyes filled with tears, his hands froze midair. You don't know how long I have waited to hear that. He placed the tray aside and leaned forward, wrapping his arms around your shoulders carefully. It's been 2 years since you stepped out of this house, Juan. His voice cracked. I didn't want to force you. I waited every day. I wanted you to tell me yourself. He pulled back and kept your face I'm so happy. Before he could say anything, he kissed her cheek suddenly, unable to hold back his joy. I'll book a club for us, just the two of us like before. You interrupted gently, holding his wrist. No, I want to go as a normal couple. He blinked again. I wanted to stand in a crowd. I want people around me. I want loud music. I want lights. I want to feel alive again. His throat tightened. You want to go with people? You smiled and nodded. Is that possible, Shankar? His answer came fast without hesitation. Yes, it will be possible. I'll make sure of it. He got up so quickly, he almost knocked over the chair behind him. I'll book everything now, tickets, the entrance, even the dress if you want. He walked out of the room in a rush, eyes bright, already giving orders to someone on his phone. You watched him from your seat by the window, your heart swelled not just with excitement, but with something deeper. You looked down at your lap and whispered softly to yourself, Jungkook, I want to see you happy. You blinked back, a tear. You have gone through so much pain because of me. You have sacrificed so much, at least now you will smile again. You looked at the sunlight streaming through the window, and for the first time in 2 years, you didn't look away. You felt something new, hope. The night air was filled with a buzz of energy. As you and Jungkook arrived at the popular city club, the bright lights shimmered on the glass windows. Music echoed faintly from inside, and people in stylish outfits walked past with excitement. You wore a soft black velvet dress Jungkook had chosen for you, and he rolled your wheelchair carefully with pride like he was walking beside a queen. You okay, princess? He asked, smiling. You nodded. I'm nervous, but I'm happy. He kissed your forehead gently. Let's make this night unforgettable. Just then Jungkook's phone rang. He glanced at the screen, serious again. Give me 1 second now. It's urgent. Wait for me near the entrance. I'll be right back. He said softly, giving your hand a quick squeeze before walking a few steps away. You nodded and waited. You turned your wheelchair slightly to face the entrance of the club. It was then that two club security guards spotted you. Both were tall, dressed in all black uniforms with earpieces in their ears. They looked at you with confused expressions. One of them walked closer and said sharply, What do you want? You smiled politely. I'm here with my husband. He'll be right back. We are going inside. They exchanged a glance and then laughed. You, a disabled woman, wants to go inside this club? One of them said mockingly. Your face stayed calm, but inside your chest tightened. So what? You asked firmly, Is it wrong? Are disabled people not allowed to go inside? The second guard scoffed. We allow couples, but how will you dance? He snickered. By sitting in that chair. Both of them burst into laughter again, loud, cruel. You looked straight at them. Your voice was calm but strong. Call your club owner. The guards rolled their eyes. One of them walked off, and moments later, a man in a shiny blue suit came out, the club owner. He looked down at you, eyebrows raised. What's the problem here? You repeated your words. I'm waiting to go in. My husband is coming. He crossed his arms and smirked. We don't allow people like you inside. This is not a hospital. Others might feel uncomfortable. The guards behind him chuckled again, but then a voice echoed across the space. Now also she is not allowed. The voice was deep, sharp, deadly calm. Everyone turned. It was Jungkook. He was standing a few steps behind you, eyes cold, jaw clenched. His hands were in his pockets, but the air around him felt dangerous. The owner's face went pale. Sir, you? The guards looked confused. Who is he? The owner whispered quickly, his voice shaking. "Has John Jungkook, the Mafia king?" Both girls stumbled back, their faces turning white. The next second, they fell onto their knees. "Sir, please, we didn't know. Please forgive us." Jungkook didn't even blink. He walked towards you silently, then stopped in front of the man. "You laughed at my wife." They trembled. She asked a simple question. "And you humiliated her?" He raised his voice just slightly. "Is this how you treat people, mocking someone for their pain?" The owner tried to speak. "I didn't mean..." "Shut up," Jungkook snapped. Then he pointed at all three. "Apologize right now." They all turned to you instantly and bowed low. If you were in her place, would you forgive them or walk away without a word? Comment your thoughts below. "We are sorry, ma'am. Please forgive us." You didn't say anything. You just looked at them with quiet satisfaction. Then Jungkook pushed your wheelchair forward, past their bowed heads, straight into the glowing entrance of the club. The music hit your chest like a wave, loud, pulsing, full of life. Lights went across the ceiling. People danced with laughter, their bodies moving to the rhythm of the freedom. You looked around. For a second you felt nervous. Everyone was looking at you, but then Jungkook knelt down beside you and held your hands. "You ready?" he asked. You smiled more than ever. He lifted you gently in his arms as if you weighed nothing, and before you knew it, he was funning with you. People stepped aside, watching the powerful Mafia man dance with his wife like she was made of stars. Jungkook held you close, then placed you on his shoulders. You gasped in surprise as he danced under the spinning lights with you above him, laughing like a child. The crowd started clapping, your heart beat fast. You closed your eyes and let the music fill you. You felt alive again. Later, he placed you back in your wheelchair and knelt in front of you once more. "You did it," he whispered. You smiled, brushing your fingers across his face. "No, we did it." Tears glistened in your eyes. "Thank you for loving me when I couldn't even love myself, for giving me this moment." I kissed your hand gently. "I will always fight the world for you," smile. While, and that night under the lights, surrounded by music and laughter, you were not broken. You were whole because love made you feel that way again. Thank you for watching.